Hi everyone, my name is Jen and this is Beast Houseplants, where I talk about things houseplant and home design. Welcome back! So today I want to share with you my top 5 favorite houseplants under $15. I feel like the prices of houseplant has really gone up the past couple of months, but this is definitely not a hobby that needs to break your wallet. Some of my very favorite houseplants are definitely under $15 and can be found quite accessibly, so these are my picks. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is my first pick. This is a Syngonium Randy, but I feel like all Syngoniums in general are super underrated. I know that the Albo Syngonium, the variegated one, is very popular because of its white variegation, but look at this variegation pattern. Look at these. This is a Syngonium Randy, so it has really strong veinings. I feel like it's very similar to the Syngonium Batik, but the Syngonium Batik I've never seen in the US really, unless it's been imported from Thailand. So this is definitely one of my favorites. I found this at Home Depot for under $10. I believe it was like $8.50 or something like that. I got it as a 4-inch pot and it has just taken off. It's currently kind of root bound in its 6-inch pot and it's only been a few months. I did end up transferring my Syngonium into LECA just because I really enjoy LECA, but this is not at all hard to take care of. This for many months was in like the darkest corner of my room and it was totally fine. Now I put grow lights on my shelf, so now it's so much happier, but honestly, like, this is quite a low light tolerant plant. Obviously, like, it won't thrive under low light conditions, but it won't die either. It was like totally happy. So yeah, all Syngoniums in general are pretty like drought tolerant. They do prefer to dry out pretty much all the way in between waterings. Definitely don't need any special kind of humidity with this one. Highly recommend. There are also super cool Syngoniums that have pink variegation, like the Syngonium Confetti or the Syngonium Pink Splash. Highly recommend you check out some Syngoniums or arrowhead plants. Okay, for my number 2 pick, this is an Oxalis, Oxalis triangularis, also called a false shamrock plant. This one, I feel like nobody talks about it anymore. I feel like people used to talk about this all the time. This plant kind of acts like a butterfly, so during the day, all of the leaves will open up to face the sunlight, and then now it's currently about like 5:30 p.m. So as you can see, all the leaves are starting to come back down. So if you do a time lapse of this plant, it looks like a butterfly flapping its wings. I also have a purple one that I really love. These you kind of have to wait for the right season for them, but once like spring comes around, these are everywhere. I got this one at my local nursery for $3. I've cut it back so many times, it keeps coming back. This is probably like the 4th or 5th time it has bloomed for me, and it hasn't really shown any signs of going dormant yet. These do go dormant during the winter time, but you can just cut it back, stop watering it, and then every spring they'll come back around. These are so freaking cool. I still need to do a time lapse of this. I keep meaning to do it, but I keep forgetting to. Highly recommend you check out Oxalis. In terms of watering, I do try to keep this a little bit more on the moist side, but not really anything special. Mine lives in an east-facing window, seems to really like that. I've put it in all kinds of windows before. They seem pretty much happy regardless. Oxalis triangularis. Okay, so this one is a little bit newer to me. This is an air plant. This is a Tillandsia xerographica. It looks like a donut and I really like it. These are so incredibly inexpensive. I believe I got this one for around the $15 mark at my local nursery, but I see them everywhere. They're pretty much sold at every local nursery. Occasionally I also see them at Lowe's. So these are definitely not hard to find. These are like probably like the epitome of easy to care for. The only thing about these that might be a little bit tricky is that they do need a lot of sunlight. These are high light plants. A lot of times people think that because they don't need a lot of water that they also don't need a lot of sunlight. No, they need a lot of sunlight. Mine lives directly right here on this plant shelf underneath this grow light. It also has obviously some of these grow lights from the shelf as well. I dunk it in water about once a week-ish, and I do try to give it filtered water when I dunk it in water, because just I've heard that the ends can get a little bit brown if you give it tap water. I haven't had it too long, and I generally don't give it tap water, so I'm not sure if that's 100% necessary, but I just literally like dunk it like this, make sure the whole thing is wet. I leave it in a bowl of water for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I take it out, kind of just like shake it, and then put it back where it lives. Generally you do want the entire plant to dry out in about an hour or so, just so that you don't accidentally end up with any rotting or anything like that. These are so incredibly easy to take care of. They look super cute, super low maintenance. I don't mist mine or anything like that. So yeah, air plants. This is definitely just one kind of air plants. There are a lot of different types of air plants, and their care is pretty similar throughout the entire like category of plants. So if you don't have one, check out an air plant. This one definitely doesn't get enough love on my channel. I talk about my Philodendron Brazil a lot, but this is basically the same care tips, but it has really cool variegation. So this is a Skindapsis. This specific variety is Skindapsis Pictus exotica. There are different varieties. I feel like the most popular one is the Skindapsis Pictus Argyle. I still can't pronounce that word. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Which is also called the sand pothos. I found this at Home Depot I found this at Lowe's, and I've eventually ended up propagating some. I've split it. I've sent it to different people. So this is a plant that definitely keeps on giving. The variegation pattern is awesome. It's super yellow, and the leaves are huge. This currently lives under one of my Sansi grow lights. Definitely really likes it. I've also used to have it in an east facing window. It also loved that. I do let this dry out completely, all the way, and then when I water it, I thoroughly soak it. In the summertime, I've been watering about once every week. In the wintertime, about once every other week. I do fertilize this one pretty much year round because it doesn't stop growing. Usually I do fish fertilizer every other watering at like a very diluted point, year round for this plant. I've given it a synthetic fertilizer once this year. I don't know if, like, I don't think I've done it enough to really see a difference, but definitely hasn't hurt the plant at all. One thing is that I've found that these are kind of hard to propagate. Like usually like philodendrons and pothos that are grouped with this plant, I just stick it in water. This one does not like to be water propagated. The only time I've successfully propagated this plant is when I stick it into soil directly after cutting. So that is a note. Otherwise, this is super easy to take care of and has super cool, amazing variegation. So yeah, I highly recommend Skindapsis exotica. Okay, so this is my last pick. This is a rubber plant, or a Ficus Elastica Taniki, which has this super cool variegation where on the outside it's like a cream color, and then on the inside it's like a bunch of mixed green. This is a cutting I took from my bigger plant. My bigger plant I bought as like an 8-inch, I believe, and it was a little bit over $15. I believe it was like $20 at my local nursery, but you can definitely find smaller versions of the plant for under $15. I see them at Lowe's all the time. This is also super easy to take care of. This cutting I have in LECA, but my bigger plant is just in soil. My brother also has one that he's never repotted, so it's in like the soil that the nursery like came with, and that one's doing great as well. These you do have to put in kind of a brighter light situation. I think that was the fire alarm. These you do have to put in kind of like a brighter light situation for the variegation to remain really nice and bright, and they do grow much better in a brighter light situation. But other than the bright lighting, these are super easy to take care of. They do like to dry out quite a bit in between waterings because the leaves are really rubbery. They do hold a lot of water. Also because mine is quite big now, it's in I believe like a 10 or 12-inch pot. It does need way less, like it does need to be watered less frequently than something like this. So for my Ficus Elastica that's in a 10 or 12-inch pot, it's in a very chunky mix and it gets watered about once every other week. For something like this that's, you know, much smaller, I would obviously make sure to check more frequently. Since this one's in LECA, I just refill it every single week. So yeah, don't need any like high humidity or anything like that. I'm sure I would appreciate like a little bit of a higher humidity, but I've never really fussed about the humidity for my Ficus Elastica, and it puts out new growth all the time. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites that I recommend you check out. The leaves or the tree eventually does get quite big, so do keep that in mind, but very easy to take care of, super accessible, and not like $100. So yeah. Okay, so those are all of my top 5 recommendations for plants under $15. I hope you found this helpful. If I missed anything, ask me in the comments down below. There are definitely way more plants I love that are under $15. So if you want me to do a part 2 to this video, I'd be happy to do so. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!